All right, not to be cliche, but we use pink for a girl and blue for a boy, but whatever, it's fine. So we're gonna go with boy names, right? So I guess so we had initially went with. Can you see all that? That's terrible. Like absolutely horrible writing. So for some reason I wrote that wrong. But okay, so let's see. Can you see all that? You can tell me.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not sure you need to write Cruz, but okay.
Well, I
think
wanted
everybody
to see
knows.
it together.
Okay.
That's what you always said. You wanted to see.
You're right.
So. Okay, so we were going with Robin Bronx. Like actually, one of the few people. My dad said he thought Robin was cool.
My brother.
And then so Kiki was probably the only person that was like, that name is lit. But so I thought it was cool. She thought it was cool. It was like the whole Robin thing. Like if I'm Batman, the kid's Robin. My sister thought it was almost like a negative thing, and so which kind of shows, I guess, little sister versus older brother kind of thought process. I'm thinking, hey, that's cool. My kid's my Robin. She's like, you're like the sidekick. You're like Batman's sidekick. My sister said that. I was like, I guess it could kind of make that person feel like, dang, I'm just a sidekick. Like instead of calling him Flash, the kid Flash. I guess I said, Eli calls himself the Flash, so if the kid's not a superhero of his own and they're actually just a sidekick, that might be a little bit of a thing. I don't know. So I was like, okay, I'll think outside the box on that one. But we were always leaning on Bronx, like not just because I'm from New York or because I'm from the Bronx, but also because I think it's a cool sounding name. But so we've just kind of been playing around with some different potential possibilities. Another one that I always thought of was, so my name is Paul, but my cousins, they call me Paulie. And then I've got a cousin named William, everybody calls him Willie. I've got a cousin named Danny, everybody calls him Danny. Or his name is Daniel, they call him Danny. Then I've got my cousin Charlie, and so it's like, his name is actually Richard, but his middle name is Charles. So there was kind of like a flowing theme amongst a lot of the males that, my cousin Kenneth is Kenny.
Kenny.
Like, it's just kind of a theme that there's this, IE or EY sort of, sounding to the nickname. And that's not for everybody, it's just, I just thought it was a kind of a cool theme. So when I was younger, we had thought about naming a kid like, Vincent, or like, I thought of different things like Donnie, so it was like IE, so Vinny, Donnie, all these mobster sounding names. Some of those a little strong. But so a lot of those names I really just, over time, they just didn't really sound as good to me. So one thing that I did kind of stick with was Ben, and not like Benjamin, but just Ben. Can you see that or no?
Yeah, I think you're writing it like.
So about that one. Maybe I was too. See that?
Yeah,
That
that's way better.
So.
And the boy up there looks like Poi.
Yeah, I'll fix that. So boy, B-O-Y, not Hawaiian, Poi, boy. That better?
Yes.
It's horrible. I'm really bad at this writing stuff.
Be intentional with your writing,
really
please.
So Ben, we thought, and then we were like, no name. Like we were having a kind of a hard time with that. And so then I kind of thought about, what about, so let me erase that. So I thought about Ben, and then we were having problems with the middle name. So I thought, what about? I don't really like my name per se. Maybe people don't like their names. A lot of people tell me my name's nice. My name's Paul Ron. I only hear that when I'm in trouble. If I'm in a little bit of trouble, it's Paul Ron. If I'm in a lot of trouble, it's Paul Ron Cruz. Hear the whole thing. Maybe people are familiar with that. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But if I hear my first name, even if somebody just says it out of context, I get a little anxiety and think about my mom yelling at me, Paul Ron! Anyway, so I thought, what about if we kept it with the same theme, and then so that way it's Ben Ron. I was like, okay, Ben Ron. And then I kind of thought, if you do that, in a way, it almost just kind of already sets up nickname right there, where you can kind of do that, even though it's not an X. Bronx. So he's already got a little nickname right there. So there's part of it. I thought that was kind of cool. So I'm always trying to think outside the box on these names and try to come up with something that, if you wanted to do a regular 9 to 5, you wouldn't have a problem getting a job as a doctor or something like that. But at the same time, you're not totally conventional and you have a cool sounding name. Don't want to be too conventional with it because there's so many different people. So Ben was kind of something that was okay. Sylvia's mom liked it. Sylvia was kind of okay with it, but it was one of those things that she really wants us to be personal. So I told her, go around the house and do the same thing. Yell. Like, how would you yell something like that in the house? She's like, Ben, come here, Ben. It's like, oh, Ben. And my mom was like, oh, like the Michael Jackson song, like the little mouse. And I was like, it's actually kind of cute, which is just funny. And then at the same time, we were like, well, if you're angry, what is it? It's Ben! And I was like, oh, yeah, Han Solo. So we were like making freaking Kylo Ren jokes for hours. So there's that aspect. We also went with, I kind of came up with this one for a while, and I was leaning on it, but then somebody said it sounded more like a girl. I don't know. I think it's cool. It's Gambit's name, Remy. So, Remy Bo, Remy. We were coming up with a couple. I figured Remy LeBeau is Gambit, so I was like, Bo, Remy Bo. That works. But that kind of... Okay. So, on that other tangent, we were talking about the whole Ben thing. We also want to make sure that when you have names, that you don't do something like where the initials can be like something that a kid can make fun of. We were talking about the stripper names before, but for a boy, like, kind of want to avoid stuff like that. Like, you want to avoid... we had thought about the middle name being... So if I said... what we said was Remy Bo. So instead of with the whole Gambit thing, it was Remy and then Remy LeBeau was Gambit's name. So again, going with comic stuff because that's just me being a geek. But went with Remy Bo, and then I was like, okay, well, what about if it was like that? And then we were like, oh, B.O. Body odor Cruz is not gonna work.
Not
so
happening.
B-E-A-U is definitely an option. I think that sounds cool. So then I kind of come up with, like, instead of the whole... I saw this other name at my son's school. This little kid was... I went and did this Watch Dogs program. So you go to the school and they invite the dads to go in. And I guess it stands for... the dog stands for Dads of... I think it's like great... Watch Dogs. Dads of great students. That's what it is. So it's Dads of great students. So you come in and you kind of help the teachers with, you know, rounding up the kids. Like you go to recess and you help make sure the kids aren't doing anything to each other. You go in, you can sit down with the students and one by one help them out with certain things. And you just go through the school, like, you know, have like a schedule, and you can do half day, you can do a whole day. I thought it was a really great program, so I'll give a shout out to that for one. But while I was there, I noticed that one of the kids on the wall had done some art, and they put their name, you know, like, oh, this person did this. And I saw a name that I thought was really cool. And it was Rain. And I was like, dang, like, I really like Prince. And like Purple Rain, like my favorite color is purple. I was like, Rain, like multiple reference right there. That's also kind of an inside joke with Mortal Kombat. There's a, you know, Mortal Kombat had multiple ninjas. You had the, you know, Scorpion was yellow, you had Reptile was green, you had Sub-Zero who was blue, and they made a purple one as a joke, as a Prince reference, and he can control like lightning and water. And they made him purple because and they made his name Rain, Purple Rain. They were making fun of Prince. Not making fun, but like it was kind of an homage to Prince, but in this ninja, this purple ninja. I thought it was cool. So it was one of my favorite characters growing up. And so I thought, man, that's a cool name. But what about if you did it with an E? And then I was like, yeah, that would be cool, because then it could be like, it's either Rain, or you could do Ren, and the Y could be Y. So I was thinking either R-E-N, instead of Ben, Ren. That's a terrible writing, so I'm going to rewrite that. But you can either do it like that, and then we thought Bo. And so we've kind of gravitated towards either that spelling or this spelling. And so Ren, Bo, Cruz. And so either with a Y or with that, but I think Ren, it's like, it's cool because it's like, it's not Ben, it's Ren. And it's like, hey, it's like, there's not a lot of people with that kind of name. I think it's unique.
I like it.
It's, my middle name is Ron. Sometimes my mom has called me Ronnie. So instead of Ronnie, it'd be Rennie. So it still goes with the IE thing. I think it's still, it's not traditional in the sense that it's somebody's name that you're borrowing from somebody else. I love Benny. I love that name. I think Ben is a cool name, but Ren is also something that flows along with it. I think it's along the similar lines. I could still say, hey, look at Rennie, which also still sounds like Remy. And then, you know, Bo's is a cool name. I just wouldn't do that for a first name because, I mean, I don't know, but Bo Jackson, like, it's just different. But the middle name, I think it works. And then, so it's kind of still along the same lines as playing on my name, but then also, you know, being its own original thing. And so I've kind of gravitated more towards this. So, I don't know if that's the exact answer. Like, hey, we've already figured it out, but we've got some top contenders. So if anybody's got some other recommendations, I saw a lot of good comments, and I can't really shout out everybody's. I guess the other thing that we were thinking of was like adding a little Hawaiian tinge to it, maybe like a Hawaiian middle name or something. But everybody's had a lot of good ideas, and so I appreciate everybody for commenting and taking the time to do that, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, or even if it's on this video, which maybe it won't. Maybe people are like, hey, by this chance, name your damn kid, whatever. I think I got a couple text messages from my cousin Esme who was like, hey, this is a big deal. I'm not going to go on Facebook, but give me like 3 paragraphs, a couple different sites to go check out sites. A friend of mine named Maria Cordner, she sent me a couple links on what names have meanings and stuff like that. So Esme was like, please, whatever you do not name my niece or nephew a horrid name. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. You're naming a human being. This is somebody that has to live with this for their life. It's not a dog. It's not, you know, I thought of some cool names like, hey, we're about Rex. And then, you know, so it was like, well, I had a dog named Rex, so that's not going to work. And then, so, I mean, you could do that all day. My ex had a dog or a family member had a dog that was named Bronx. And I was like, I don't care, I don't know that dog, so I didn't care about the whole Bronx thing. But, I found another tangent. Wanted to kind of talk about one last thing, which is what we were going to have an idea for baby reveal. Maybe you can see these lights, maybe you can't. But we were considering, and again, we're open to ideas because we really just don't know what to do, but I was considering doing like a Facebook Live event and basically scheduling online so everybody knew when we were going to do it, and then just leaving the camera kind of in an all-dark room, and then when the time hit, letting people know what the gender was by either lighting up a red lightsaber for a girl, which again, I know is cliche. Should have been pink, but I don't have a pink one, so red's good enough. Or a blue one for a boy. And so basically we'd probably just leave it in the dark. Now if it's twins, obviously we'd have 2 red lightsabers go up. If it's twin boys, then 2 blue lightsabers going up. Yes, that's a possibility. So believe it or not, that is still a possibility. Not as likely, but it's still possible.
I doubt that,
then,
but...
Yeah, I doubt it too, but... Just in case, you never know. One's hiding behind the other one, but... I guess if it was 2, we'd have one of each different color, but... I don't know. I think that's a cool reveal. If you have another idea, I know some people... my mother-in-law had mentioned doing like a whole superhero thing where we would open our shirts and then the color of the shirt underneath would be like, you know, a whole Superman thing. It would be the color of the gender reveal. I think that's a good idea, but again, don't know how we can facilitate that online the same way unless it was like recording a video or something. I just feel like this is a really simple way, just all black background and then the color goes up. I've seen some people, I think it's also unique too, but if anybody has any ideas, we're definitely open because this is really stressful. Like this whole thing, naming a human being, thinking about not putting any, you know, undue stress on this person because they didn't like their name growing up or some kid made fun of their name. I know people who have dealt with some issues where a song came out later that said something bad about their name or some celebrity did something stupid and they had the same name and it's like, you're embarrassed. We don't get to choose our names. Maybe you can when you're 18, Eli. Talk to him about it. He's having some issues. Obviously, we fully support him, but you know, things are more complicated than they seem. So again, I'll talk about that some other time. But if you ask me, he's, you know, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So it doesn't matter, you know, what certain people call you. It matters who you are. And so, as far as anyone is concerned, as far as I'm concerned, and our family's concerned, he's one of us. He's our family. He is my son, and that is just the way it is. So it doesn't matter if your name was friggin' Blanket. It's who you are. I use Blanket because Michael Jackson's.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let me know what you think about those ideas. Let me know what you think about these names, or whether or not we're completely insane, or whether or not this video was super boring and you tuned off like within 37 seconds. Whatever. Just help me out here because I'm struggling. Like this is a hard thing to name a human being. So if anybody has any ideas on anything, I mean, anything. How to do this, what to prepare for. I'm reading books. Like, I'm reading daddy books. Like, this is the strangest thing that has ever happened to me. I did not know what this was going to feel like. And every day I wake up and I see that belly and I'm like, holy crap, this is real. So it's a lot, but I'm excited. And I hope everybody, I know a lot of people are excited about this. And, you know, it takes a lot for me to even realize it's actually a thing. So thank you for spending some time and checking this out. And if you have any ideas, please post it below. Call me, text me, email me, whatever. I need them. Struggle.